first question says express as a single fraction. So we have two algebraic fractions being added. So whenever we have fractions with unlike denominators being added, first step is to make the denominators equal. And to do that, we're going to multiply the first fraction, both the numerator and denominator, by x minus 2. And the second fraction will get multiplied by x plus 1, both the numerator and denominator. That's going to be x plus 1 times x minus 2 over 1 times x minus 2 plus 4 times x plus 1 over x plus 1 times x minus 2. As you can see, the denominators are completely equal now. So we can rewrite it as a single fraction, x plus 1 times x minus 2. And the numerator will be x minus 2 plus 4x plus 4, which is 5x plus 2 over x plus 1 times x minus 2. That is your answer. Next question says, calculate an estimate of the median salary. So as you can see, we have intervals for the salary, and then we have the corresponding frequency. First, we will add up the frequency and find the total frequency. So when we add this up, we get 120. 120 is the total frequency. Now, since we have to find the median value, we will divide the total frequency by 2, because median is half, like the middle value. So 120 divided by 2 is 60. So we have to find the 60th value in the frequency. To find that, we start adding the frequencies to each other one by one, beginning from the first one. So 8 plus 48 is going to give us 56. And for 56 to be 60, we need to add 4 to that. So that plus 4 value is going to come from this interval over here, because these two are 56. So plus 4 is over here. So that means we will do 4, because we're taking 4 people from this interval. Divide that by 50, because total frequency is 50 over here. So 4 over 50 times 10. Why times 10? Because the interval difference over here between 20 and 30 is 10. So 4 over 50 times 10, which is going to be 0.8. 0.8 will be added to 20, because the interval is starting from 20. That is starting value. So 20 plus 0.8 is 20.8. That is the value that we get from this interval for the median salary. Since the salaries are in £1,000, so we will multiply 1,000 to 20.8, and that gives us £20,800 as the estimated median salary. And that's your answer. Next question says, show the equation x cubed plus 3x equals to 1 has a solution between x equals to 0 and x equals to 1. So whenever you come across similar questions, these questions mostly have like 3 parts, and in the first part, they're going to ask you to prove whether there's a solution between 2 given values. Then they're going to ask you to make another equation out of this by rearranging the equation. And lastly, it's going to be about iteration, where they ask you to find values. So in the first case, what you do is, first you bring everything on one side. So we have x cubed plus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. And assume that your equation is f of x equals to x cubed plus 3x minus 1. Now we're going to substitute the given values of x in this equation and see what values of f of x we get. So for x equals to 0, it's 0 cubed plus 3 times 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. And for x equals to 1, that's 1 cubed plus 3 times 1 minus 4, which is positive 3. Since there's a change in sign between x equals to 0 and x equals to 1 for the f of x values, we can easily tell that the solution exists in this case. Why? Because your graph is basically crossing the axis from positive it's becoming negative, or from negative it's going to positive. So the change in sign shows that solution exists between over here, because between these two values, your graph is crossing the axis. So what you will say is change in sign between x equals to 0 and x equals to 1 shows that the solution exists between them. That is your complete answer. Now, as I said, the next part would ask you to rearrange it to make another equation. So what we do is we have x cubed plus 3x equal to 1. And they want us to rewrite this as x equals to 1 over 3 minus x cubed over 3. So I'm going to move x cubed to the other side first. So 3x equals to 1 minus x cubed. Now I'm going to divide both the terms by 3. And that is your equation. Next, it says starting with x1 equals to 0. Use the iteration formula xn plus 1 equals to 1 over 3 minus xn whole cube over 3. 3 times to find a solution to x cubed plus 3x equals to 1. So we have to solve this 3 times to find a solution. And as you can see, this is exactly the same as the equation that we made in the previous part. But what they've done now is they've replaced the subject with xn plus 1. And the x that is the equation terms of with xn. So xn plus 1 equals to 1 over 3 minus xn cubed over 3. We're going to start with x1 equals to 0. So which means x2 is going to be 1 over 3 minus 0 square over 3, which is basically 1 over 3. And you find x cubed, which is 1 over 3 minus 1 over 3 squared over 3, and that is going to give us 0.32099. And for the last one, it's going to be 1 over 3 minus 0.32099 over 3 cubed, and that's going to give us 0.32231. So you have used this formula 3 times to find solution to the equation, and this is your answer.